Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Astoria Filmmakers Club podcast. I got a very special guest here today. His name is John Herbert.
Hebert.
Hebert. I knew that. It was from the movie. He did a film called Curtains Down during the Triborough Film Festival. It was Astor nominated. He's an outstanding storyteller, and it's my privilege to introduce you guys to him. John Hebert, welcome to the AFC podcast, man.
Hey, kids.
So long time no see. Can't believe it. It's almost like summertime already. What have you been up to since we last saw each other?
Well, so like I was saying, I did, now that the writer strike's happening, okay, you left me.
Nah, sorry. My dog was trying to open the door. She's gotten so intelligent.
Well, they are smart animals.
Yes, no exception.
Yeah, so since the writer strike has happened, I haven't been doing a lot. I've just been working on my own stuff. And so, like I was saying before, I did The Curtains Down, which was a micro short, right? So it's 3 minutes and 45 seconds long. I did a year run with that. That was good. Won some awards and stuff like that. It was nice. And then I just released it online. And then right after I did that, I had a guy contact me and said, you should make it, like everybody does. Hey, you should do a bunch of work. It's like, okay, yeah, I haven't thought of that. He was like, yeah, you should make it into a feature film. So I started like breaking it down and writing it into a feature.
Very cool. Now, was that more about like a doppelganger, a character you created, or sort of like a biopic in a sense?
No, it was, okay, here's how I made it. I asked myself, all right, what can I do? Okay, I can sing, I can tap dance, I can act, all right. Let me come up with a story that just showcases that stuff, because originally it was just supposed to be footage that I was going to use from our reel. Cool. And so I sat down one day and I wrote the joke. And the joke was a guy gets fired. And when he gets fired, he says, well, are we still going to get a good recommendation? And I was like, okay, yeah, that's great. So that joke I made into that little short scene of the guy rushing in, hey, that photo, then later on I fleshed out how he got fired, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But that was it. That's all I had made. And then I was like, all right, this is something. Maybe I should make something a little bit bigger. And then I expanded it. I had a scene with me tap dancing. And I was like, okay, this is working. So then I just kept expanding it. And then I thought, well, let me make it a hero's journey, hit each point literally in just one line. The opening, it's one line.
Yeah.
The failure, it's, the first failure, then when they get fired, it's like one scene. And then the second scene, it's a failure. And then the third, and then I was like, all right, 3 failures and then a success. And then that'll be the short. And then that's what I came up with.
I'm not going to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen this movie yet, because even that point in victory, was it the one-liner when the character just screams yes, was the moment of success for him?
Right. I don't want to ruin anything either if you're going to watch it, but what I didn't want and what I don't like is morals. I don't like virtue signaling. I don't like preaching. I just wanted something that was funny.
Sure.
So I was like, well, the character is a selfish guy. He's an idiot. But selfish for self-preservation's sake.
Yeah.
But also he's just like a bit of an idiot. And just like no malice involved.
Right.
And so at the end, I didn't want like a happy ending. I didn't want like him to learn anything.
Gotcha.
I don't like learning stuff is not funny. I like to learn stuff. Like John Hebert, the director, I like to learn,
Right.
but I don't like to watch people learn. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to watch. I just don't like. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. That's why I like Seinfeld, because they never learn.
Right. They just keep
That's
going.
what's funny.
So I guess on that note, I could definitely see it expanded, feature length, but it just seems like this character is so unique where it wouldn't be limited to one feature. Like, have you considered something like an episodic?
Yeah, I thought about episodic, but I like, because I already the mini thing is a proof of concept. Really, it's the beginning of a story. It's really just the beginning. It's the them starting at the top and falling to the bottom. And so what I was thinking was, from here, where it would go would be then right after this, perhaps hatch a plan to get back on top. And then from there, a woman would come into my character's life to help give him some confidence. And then I was thinking possibility the sexy granny, would come back into the picture somehow and cause tension between his girl and, et cetera. So, you see, you do the whole story, and you just continue a typical, the thing, it would be a standard story, at least what I'm laying out right now. But what would be different would be the dialogue. And
Sure.
if you watch my writing, you'll see it's, not your standard.
I was kind of like thinking of Max Bialystock, the character.
Oh, yeah, sure. How to Succeed in Business?
Pretty close. Max Bialystock is the producer from The Producers.
Oh, right. Yeah, right. He played in How to Succeed in Business. Yes, right. Yes, The Producers.
Gotcha. So it was just kind of a curious thing. Like, now your character, was he like he won a Tony Award or
Anthony Award? Can't say Tonys.
Right. You can't say the T-Bone. All right.
Hey, I called the Tonys, right?
Go ahead and you told me the story, but please.
Did I tell you this? I called the Tonys. I was like, hey, listen, I'm making this little short. I would love to use a Tony. Maybe I could perhaps rent one. I'm thinking, it's gonna be $40. They're like, okay, send us the script. So I sent them the script. They read it over. Somebody read it over.
Yeah, sure.
And they wrote back, yes, you can use the Tony in here. It'll be $800 for the day that you can't, to just rent it for one day. And I was like, $800. And then I have to give it back? No.
Come on.
No, thanks. So I just made my own. Wait, do I have one here? Yeah, look, I have one here.
Go ahead, and hope you guys are watching on YouTube right now.
So I have this one here that I made. Okay.
That is our Anthony Award?
Yes. This is our Anthony Award.
Gotcha.
Right? So it's not Tony. Anyway, that was a side tangent. What was the question?
Now, as far as like your character, what did he win the Anthony for?
Oh, no, they had 5 Anthonys. 5 Anthonys for best musical, because they're a musical duo team who would, write songs and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So best musical, actor, soundtrack, however it works for them.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Listen, man, with this short, I didn't even go into that. I didn't even think of that. You know what I mean? I just thought, okay, they won Best Musical. Let's start them at the top. 5 Anthony Awards, and then that way they could fall. I didn't like think.
I would love to, but like kind of going back from the Max Bialystock, I guess doppelganger, I guess. He was on top, and then he started wearing a cardboard belt, and then who is it? Leopold Bloom gets him out of that little rut he was in and says, you could just put on a flop and make more money with it than you would with a hit. Here's how you do it.
Yeah.
So I was curious, like, what is your character, about? Like, is it gonna not be a Bialystock story, but maybe something along to that effect?
Here's the thing. I don't know.
You don't know.
And when I wrote this, I didn't know either.
Good. All right. Yeah.
Like I literally wrote it, not knowing. I wrote and I didn't know what I was going to do next. I knew I had an idea, and then I was okay, great. Okay, now what? And then I was like, and I just would think. I was like, I didn't write it all out beforehand. I didn't know what. Now, I have what I think he may do next, as far as hatching a plan, would be writing a new musical. Now, I did write this new song called Death is Good. And it's a hardcore, like a death metal song. Okay.
Sure.
And it would be, if you could just imagine, if I could just set the scene for you. Death metal song playing. That kind of a song. But then in between, or when the chorus comes, suddenly all the lights come on, dancing girls come out, and it's like this Broadway, death is good. Ah. That kind of a thing. And then he's like tap dancing mixed with death metal. I wrote that song now, and then that's what I have for his next sort of like
up and coming.
Yes, his attempt to get back up. So you could see it's not. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
No, it's not, because I think the process of trying to make something is what actually is more appealing than the something that was made. One of the best feedback lines I've ever gotten from one of my teachers is that she found it more interesting to watch me set up the room before I actually got up and performed my scene than me actually doing the scene. Yeah,
because it's like a dog, you're not self-aware, you're just doing stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
But I think that's a curious approach of not knowing what you're going to do.
Because I don't know, and I don't have an approach, and I'm not trained. So
very few of us are, but still, like you pulled it off with Curtains Down.
Listen, thank you.
You did.
You know who I'm going to give a lot of the credit to? Sven Pepe, for teaching me about editing.
Who's Sven?
His name is Sven Pepe, and he's Sven Pepe. No, I'm sorry, Sven Pape. He does editing consulting, right? Because I didn't have an editor, and I frankly don't know how to edit, really. That's another thing. I didn't know how to do a lot of stuff. And so I was like, let me just ask people who do. And I would just ask people. And then no one is going to do stuff for you for free, but everybody will give you their opinions for free.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm just going to use that against them. And, go around and just literally ask people, because I work on sets. And so I would talk to DPs, and I would talk to, like I was working on this Prodigal Son, and I was asking the DP, like I would show him at lunch a quick, hey, look, what do you think about this, shot here, and then they always have an opinion. It's so, and then boom, and I would take his opinion, because his opinion is better than mine. Yeah. And I would go alter shit. So with editing, so I contacted this editor, and he had just done this thing with the editor for Veep and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay.
And he, you know, everything he taught me in that short little consultation, I then applied to what I had already written and already filmed. And then instantly stuff started coming into place.
This sounds like such a fun project to me because, like, even when you kind of reference Seinfeld, I like how Seinfeld, I don't like that it ended, but it ended basically on how Seinfeld was really created. And it just seems like, not that you could use that for this, but going in, not knowing exactly what it is you're going to be doing, but tying into how you did what you would do in that theatrical reality.
Yeah.
That I think would be really interesting.
Yeah, I am. I think, yes. I mean, Seinfeld's a huge influence on me. Huge.
I think you have so much to expand on. I love movies, I do, but sometimes it's the beginning and the middle, and when it's the end, it's usually that's the end. I think with this story, you know, not to like give you my opinion, but I would really love to see 10 30-minute episodes of this guy's character and do it on a seasonal basis and just really explore, based on your experience in the Broadway community, everything there is, you know, that this character could really talk about just a little bit.
Okay, let me tell you something though. Okay. Yeah. I got feedback, right? When I first made this, I sent it to Short Verse. Okay. And you know, that I was an idiot. I don't know. So I paid for feedback. I paid $40 for some feedback from, and then later to find, so I got the feedback and they just fucking ripped me a new asshole. It was just, they ripped it apart. I'm just reading this stuff like, are we watching the same thing? Like, what do you think this is? Do you think I'm trying to apply to like the Godfather contest? No, it's a fucking 3-minute short.
Yeah.
Anyway, one of their criticism was that they didn't think Broadway people would identify and like it. They're like, it's too weird for the young Broadway folk, and it's too raunchy for the old school Broadway folk. I'm like, oh, what? And at first, I like kind of took that to heart. I was like, you know, that was like a year ago. All right, 1 year later, now I've won 11 awards. And then what, interestingly enough, everybody who I know who comes from the Broadway world who watches it, love it.
Yeah.
I think it's twisted and like, you know, it's frankly, it's not that twisted.
No.
It's pretty tame, actually, but
I'm sure you got stories you could tell.
So I just want to say that to the Short Verse, which I don't know, I'm sure they're probably not going to see this, but if you are watching, that's it. I just wanted to give them that look.
Gotcha.
You know, that stare, that like.
Should have believed me.
Yeah, that.
I get it, man. How long have you been an actor, would you say now?
I did theater for what, 2000, from 2001 to like 2009, I did theater. You know, I did tap dancing and singing, that kind of shit stuff. I don't know. Can we cuss on this? I don't know.
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fuck, balls, shit, cock. Okay. Not making a joke. Oh yeah, that's another person. If you've never seen I Think You Should Leave Now, I'm plugging other people's stuff.
Right.
I Think You Should Leave Now, Tim Robinson.
I've had, well, it sucks to be you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best. Oh yeah. So what was I saying? I got distracted.
It's theater from 01 to 09.
Yeah, from 01 to 09 I did theater, and then I stopped doing it for you know, a long time. It's a sad story. You know, fell in love, heartbroken, went to drinking, you know, lots of drinking and drugs and drinking and whoring, that kind of stuff. Just like unfocused, I was just unfocused, lost my confidence, stopped thinking big. I stopped thinking big, started thinking small, just thinking like day to day. Did that for years. And then 2019 happened. Here comes the pandemic. I'm working on a TV show, working on crew. And then I just sort of woke up and was like, nope, I got to start, I only got one life. I got to start thinking big. So I started, thinking bigger.
Right. And here you are.
And here I am now.
That was like, what, a 10-year hiatus?
Yeah, 10-year hiatus. Yeah. So, but now I'm back. I'm taking Tappet class again. I'm taking, I'm writing. Even if it sucks, I hate writing.
It's hard. I mean, it's not fun. I get it.
Writing is not fun.
Like
not fun.
I hated writing Fireland. By the end of this first or second year, like I said, it's more than enough. And I'm understanding. I relate to you. I get it. And there's so much where it's like, I don't want to write it anymore because we're probably going to find out what it's going to be about when we're actually making it, not so much what it has to be, Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of outlines.
That was easy because that was fun. Like for me, it's like I'm not so much worried about how we get to that point, but let's just try to aim for that point and see what happens in between, record it, and build on what works.
Yeah, I like that too, except when there's a budget involved.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I had in my favor is I had time, so I could shoot, mess up, shoot again, change, shoot, do this kind of stuff. Just when I have a budget involved, and it's like, all right, we got to do it now. Like that thing I just did with Chris Ambrosio.
Yeah,
that short of his. It was a different experience than what I'm used to, or at least what I had just done, because it was like we're doing everything and we're doing it right now, and then it's just like how it's normally. That's it. We're gonna get it right now, or it's just not gonna happen.
What happened? You got like 3 scenes in 1 hour?
No, 1 hour. No, we did that day. We did a 12-hour day.
Nice. Yeah,
that was a 12-hour day. Yeah.
When I worked with them, we hit pretty close to we hit from sunlight till sundown from whenever we could, and then it's like come back in 2 days.
Yeah. So anyway, that's so that's what I'm doing now. So now I'm just writing and working, and
nice.
That's what I'm doing.
So I'm curious though, so the musical that's inside is this story now a musical comedy, like Glee in a sense, where
no,
not just need an example. Like, how would you identify?
Okay. No, that's a good, it has music in it.
Yeah.
But it's not a musical in the sense where the story is being told through song.
Gotcha. So it's about.
I love musicals.
Oh no, who doesn't?
I do love musicals. But this is not that.
Right.
This is just has performances of music in it, but not a standard musical. No.
So it is about the guy who's making now a musical to make his more or less his comeback, or like his new trek back to the top. Does that musical inside the story have a name?
Oh, the second one that I came up with?
Yeah, like Springtime for Hitler was the name of the musical. And
Oh. No, I hadn't come up with one. I just came up with the song Death is Good.
Death is good. Good as death.
Death is good. That's the song. I actually wrote that. Oddly enough, I wrote that song years ago when I was a child.
So you completed that song and now you just found it and then it's just
I completed the song. I wrote the melody and the chorus when I wrote the chorus and the lyrics when I was like in 8th grade.
Okay.
As a just being silly kind of thing. And I was just like, well, that would be the perfect thing to sort of like mix up. And I just like use that song because I already wrote it. I might as well use it in something. But now what I added to it was the tap dancing and the Broadway sort of to that death metal song.
Gotcha. So your character is making a musical that has that song. Now, is it more of like a death metal musical that he's trying to make? Is it a love story or is it like just?
I don't know. I haven't come up with that yet. It's like I haven't come up with because I love Spinal Tap, and I'm sure you would see like some sort of you'd see some sort of reminiscence of Spinal Tap in that.
There's a character-driven story, Yeah,
it's a character. It's really about the characters' constant fucking things up. But not just that, but in the weird way in which he does it. Like when you watch the original, the ways he would misinterpret sexual advances.
Is that Rob Reiner's Spinal Tap?
Yeah, Rob Reiner's Spinal Tap, yeah.
Gotcha. I watched that for the first time. I remember going to Joe's Video, rented it on VHS, I think it was, and it was in the mid to late 90s when I saw it for the first time. I did not understand it. I remember watching it. I just don't remember. I don't remember anything from that film. It just
nothing.
Very little.
You don't remember This Goes to 11?
Like, oh well, I understand the reference when they brought it back in like Superbad or Role Models. Like, I understood that part, but when I was a kid, it wasn't clicking with my brain. I just could not.
Oh yeah, well when I was a kid too. Yeah.
I didn't watch it since then.
I didn't get it when I was a kid. I did not get it. But then I watched it again I think I was in my 20s. And then I watched it again in my 30s and 40s. And yeah.
You don't look 40.
Oh, did I say 40s?
It might have been a Freudian slip.
Yeah. No, I'm in my 30s.
Gotcha. Technically you are. It's just like, every month? Yeah, has 28 days.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s. So
gotcha.
Just in case you're wondering. Although Chris asked me to read for his next feature film.
Oh, we did the read for Monkey Bars?
Oh, yeah, you were there. Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't do it. I wish I could have made that.
Like it finally made perfect sense when everybody now just read it, put a voice to it, put a little flair of a character underneath this. Like Chris is actually a very gifted writer. He does have, like, when you first read something, to me, it might come across as a little, I don't know, unorganized, a little messy, and you don't know what the story is actually really about. But when you actually hear people read it, for me anyway, then everything just starts to click.
Yeah. I wish I could have made that. But my point was that the character's supposed to be an old guy.
Right.
And getting not an old guy, but like getting up in age. And I am.
The bald man?
No, not the bald man. The lead character.
The uncle?
No, not the uncle. The protagonist. I just forgot the character's name.
Josh's character?
Maybe.
Oh, all
I
right.
forgot the name.
I forgot.
Whoever the lead character is.
Yeah, Josh.
Okay, Josh. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh. Shout out Josh, wherever you are. Can't wait to make the movie. Well, no, I actually, after listening to the movie, and the actors were very well fit, putting a little, chemistry to each other. It was fun. It was fun to listen to, and I think it could do very well. I don't know. I don't know what their next step is, but I'm here for them no matter what, and I'm excited. I would really enjoy seeing that movie like in a theater. That would be a fun movie to watch.
Yeah. Good.
Did you ever see The Degenerates?
Degenerates? No.
He didn't show you that?
What's that? It's one he wrote?
That's How I Met Him.
Oh. No, I haven't.
Back,
He didn't.
I think it was around, I want to say around the holiday season of 2018, 2019. My cousin had seen his post on Facebook because they went to high school together. And she said, "Hey, check it out. A guy I know is making a movie." And apparently, I'm like, "All right, fine. I haven't acted in like 2 years at that point, so I might as well just see if I still got it." So I auditioned. We hit it off pretty well. Chris came over to my house. We talked. I had a cold. I couldn't really like do much, but we ended up filming like in late March of 2019, and that's basically on his set. And it was great. It was fun. When we actually saw it all together, like Chris doesn't mind. Please, I hope you see it. It's a very short 20-minute short film, and it's ridiculously hilarious. I think you would really enjoy it.
Yeah,
and
I'll ask him.
It ties into Monkey Bars a little bit, because the characters make a little cameo inside the garage of the.
Oh, okay.
So it's all three of those characters, those three stooges, and it's really it's fun. But
Cool.
it was actually on his film set where I got the idea for the Astoria Filmmakers Club.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was the trigger?
The trigger was the 2 years it took to get the next gig, or like having my cousins who know me very well see something for me and then let me know about it, where it's like so much time in between these jobs where it's like, I just had turned 31, I think, at that time, and all of a sudden it was just like at a point, and then all of a sudden I just turned 32 the month before, where I'm just like I'm confused, I've been acting, I think at that point, for like 10 years officially, like since day one, my first film, until now. It's like 10 years in the biz, and I'm like, am I satisfied? Am I doing the right thing? Should I even be here? Do I belong here? All of these things started really clicking in my head, and I just thought maybe how convenient it would be if there was a clubhouse for filmmakers that everybody pretty much congregated at, so that way everybody knows each other, and the 2 years in between work kind of drops to like maybe a month, or perhaps 2 months, or maybe somebody needs somebody for a play, where I could just do a play instead of a movie, and kind of just stay sharp, where it's more bi-seasonal or monthly, where I'm actually active and getting better. So once that kind of clicked in my head, I'm like, I don't think it exists anywhere. I figured, fuck it, maybe I should just make my own Hollywood.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Here we are.
I mean, that's Bill Burr said one time in an interview.
The comedian.
I don't know. Somebody was asked, a feminist or something, or somebody like asked him, "Are women funny?" And he was like, "Yeah, of course." And she's like, "Well, all these guys are saying women aren't funny." And he's like, "Would you cut the horse shit and just go out there and make your own stuff?"
Yeah.
Like, you make your own stuff. We're all out here eating a shit sandwich.
Yeah. I remember what exactly.
Right? You remember that interview?
I remember
that interview.
We're all, yeah.
Is what woke me up to like, I need to make my own shit.
Yeah, you do.
I'm looking at the camera here and then I'm looking at you here, just in case if you're watching this and you're like, why is he looking and all that? Because the camera's there, you're here, I'm looking here.
Right.
So I got to always look at myself to see if I look good or not.
You got a decent sized monitor. I
got my little, computer.
Oh, I got the camera like in the Mac, and then you're right underneath it, and then I'm down on the bottom.
Oh yeah. I got my camera above the Mac, and then this here, and it's like, okay, just in case you're wondering. So this is the camera here.
Gotcha. Yes. We're all eating shit sandwich.
It looks weird though. Yes, we're all eating a shit sandwich. Make your own shit, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna make my own shit.
Welcome to Happy Corner. This project strives to make safe housing areas for stray cats at an affordable price. It's so easy to put together that even your children could have fun making one. Help keep cats and other animals safe with their own little Happy Corner homes. You can help this project become a reality by donating to the GoFundMe page. Happy Corner homes are a great way to show those animals in need it's okay to be happy.
And I had just watched The Disaster Artist, I think, prior to meeting Chris, give or take. It was right around that time.
Yeah.
But it was really inspiring, where a bunch of guys.
You mean it was so awful? You're like, I could do this?
But see, that's the thing. This guy, I respect this guy because he.
Oh, you watched The Disaster Artist.
I'm
thinking of The Room.
I did watch The Room, and I watched The Disaster Artist.
Oh, okay.
I listened to the audiobook. I'm familiar.
I see.
But it's like this guy. I mean, the movie was what it was, and it was so wonderful in its own unique way. I can't. It's
you mean The Room was?
The Room was, I think, spectacular. I almost bought it, and I almost wanted to buy everything Tommy Wiseau ever did just to see what he's doing.
Yeah, like a train wreck.
Like I had to, it just struck a nerve so deep where I'm like, I can't look away. But my respect for this guy,
like a dead body,
something that walks and lives, and somehow it's incredible. But he actually spent $6 million on his movie. And so that kind of struck me. I'm like, wait, what? Like the you gotta be fucking kidding me moment. But there were so many good moments before that where it was leading up to, I guess, in The Disaster Artist, the making of it, where, the hero's journey, like the defeat, starting to get a little bit of momentum. Completing that movie was his success. It wasn't about what the movie was supposed to be about that made it a success. And that's what inspired me to maybe make my own movie, which I've always had a dream to do. But I just thought, is that enough? At the same time, we're like,
what is what enough?
Is making my own movie enough for me? Oh, so that's where things kind of just hit me a little bit harder. I'm like, it seems such like an impossibility for me, or it used to for such a long time, where it's like, if you're gonna even try to do something that small, and it's such a hard thing to even do, you might as well just build your own fucking Hollywood, because it's going to be just as hard either way. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I could do that too. So I don't know. It just seems like I'm doing something so ridiculous or out of the norm, or just making Hollywood conducive to my needs as a creator, maybe, and making it easy for everybody else along the way. It just, I don't know, man. This whole thing is a journey, because I had no idea this was ever going to happen either. I did not plan this. I just came up with an idea, and here we are.
I mean, the way I see it is I'm still, as far as I'm concerned, nothing has happened yet still. I mean, stuff has happened, but I'm not looking at it like that. Because, for instance, if when I look at it like that, as in, has something happened? Usually that, to me, that just means money. Right? Uh-huh. Okay, I made, $100,000 or I got signed to this agency and, you know, things are right. But, and all that kind of thing is great and everything. But like, okay, none of that has happened yet. How I've gotten into some, you know, I've gotten into a couple of short films because of this. I've won awards, and I'm getting a reputation, I suppose. But it's like you still waking up every day and then like, okay, well, what's next? It's always the what's next, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't see anything nothing's happening. I'm still going. I've just started.
Yeah.
That makes no sense, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what my point was in that whole statement, but I just wanted to say that.
It really broke the tension and it pulled me in.
So there you go.
Well, somebody said on a previous podcast, you know, when you ever see a piece of art, whether it's in a museum or like what is art, what is it? His question was, how do you know when a work of art is completed?
Oh yeah, I know how. I know. I mean, I'll tell you how I know.
Go ahead. Like, I'm curious. Like,
what I do.
I thought the answer was when the artist dies.
No.
Go ahead.
It's because it's done in each moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Sure.
Each moment is the work of art. Each scene you do is the work of art. And it's not like it's not one thing. Or I should say it is one thing, but it's a separated like when I was writing my little piece. If I'm watching it and I get that little tickle inside, it's done. Okay, the scene's that's it. It works.
It works.
Let's move on to the next one.
Right.
That's how I know. If we're talking about the short term, I mean, yeah, if you're talking about with long-term artists, sure. Yeah, then when someone dies, yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
I'll have to re-listen to the podcast. I think it came out not like in the first week. I almost think it was John Carlson's podcast. He's from the San Francisco Bay Area. I remember, really nice guy, you know, being an actor, turned his life around. He got sober and he's like, he loves being alive and loved being an actor. And like, it was such a warm conversation. And the guy was so, you know, enthusiastic about life, you know.
Oh yeah. I'm sober.
I used to be.
I mean, this year so far. Far this year.
Oh, gotcha. Was that sort of like just what you want to do to kind of just like stay in the game, or just like, you know?
I just looked in the mirror and I saw an old man.
Gotcha. It wasn't you?
And I'm like, who the fuck is this old man in the mirror? I don't want to be that old man, not yet. I like, my face was all fat and puffy and, you know, I was like bloated, beer belly. And oddly enough, when you watch Chris's short, that the one that I was in, you will see.
Puffy you.
I'm like bloated. And I was like,
rough day.
But I had still not drank. But, you know, it takes a while for the effects to get off your, you know, body from drinking.
Yeah, I know. Like I gained like 70 pounds just from eating fast food and drinking beer every day.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be in shape. I want to look good on camera. Even if, you know, if I don't look quote unquote good on camera, I want it to be like, you know, purposefully
healthier.
Specifically, like, okay, we specifically don't want you to look good on camera because, I don't know, XYZ.
Gotcha.
A role, you know, or something like that. Not because, hey, look, this fat fuck here. can't
Uh,
control his life.
fucking Chris Pratt over here. What's wrong with you?
Whatever. Yeah.
So like, how do you feel about your journey so far? Like in the field, like, you're, like,
I feel like I'm drowning.
so I understand that.
I feel like I'm drowning, like I'm paddling.
Yeah.
And I'm, just trying to keep my head above water.
I hate society because of that factor where it's like, why do we do this to each other? But as far as like, not to measure success on like things have ever happened, whether or not you have $100,000 in the bank account. Do you feel a sense of accomplishment with what you've done?
No,
You haven't really.
no.
How come? Or like, what's accomplishment to you then gonna look like?
Every time, I don't know how to answer that, but I'll tell you this. Every time I get someone who comments or not now that I released it, right? Every time I get someone who comments or likes the piece, I watched the whole thing again. 3 minutes, 45 seconds.
Every single time somebody
I just find myself doing
Trying-
this, seeing that someone liked it.
right.
They say, oh my God, that's funny or whatever. And then I end up watching the whole thing. I guess I'm a narcissist.
No,
Really, really enjoying my work, like trying to, really enjoy what I've done.
No, dude, I think a narcissist would actually say to that person a comment saying, you're absolutely right, or getting affirmations by engaging with what they said.
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe I'm the opposite of a narcissist. Maybe I have low self-esteem.
I think
so I need to
partially,
remind myself
it's
of
an affirmation.
what good I did.
Yeah, I think it's an affirmation where it's just like you're trying to see through their perspective and through their lens.
Yeah. So maybe that's why I don't feel a sense of accomplishment, is because I don't have high self-esteem. So I don't enjoy my own work, which is not true, because I do. I enjoy my own work. And so in a sense, the reason why I say I don't feel a sense of accomplishment is because I do. Yeah. I did it. It's great. But I'm not going to revel on that because there's a lot more work to be done.
I just had a stupid idea in my head that would be really funny, but I shouldn't say it on the podcast. I'll tell you later to put it in your show.
Okay.
I just see like it working for you, but
sure. Yeah.
As a curious,
I'm not going to give you writing credit, but you could tell me.
Nah, I'll just help you pay for it through my nonprofit.
Oh yeah. There you go. I'll put you as EP.
Even better.
Executive producer.
I know a guy. But I'm curious though, like how long have you been playing that giant violin back there?
Oh, that bass for let me see. I picked up the upright bass in 2012. And then I fiddled around with it. I didn't study anything, whatever. And then after about 3 or 4, in 2016, I went to Joe Solomon's jazz improv workshop, and then I started studying with him. So really, since 2016, I've been studying it.
So basically, you kind of mastered the chords, and you just kind of feel the room, and you play with improvised musicians, or?
No, I didn't master nothing yet. That's the interesting thing about the way he teaches. He teaches improv.
Yeah,
jazz improv. He doesn't teach the instrument, quote unquote. I mean, he does because he's a bass player, but he teaches all instruments, piano, jazz, doesn't matter. He teaches the idea of improvisation.
Oh, wow.
And so, yes, he will teach you no matter what instrument you play.
That's cool.
And so what I did was, and so he calls it the slow way. And the slow way, he says, is the only way. It's the fastest way because it's the only way. it's like any other art form. It's a huge mountain and you never reach the top until you die. You still didn't reach the top. And so it's just another, I burden myself with all these art forms out of a sense of need for accomplishment. And an overachiever, I suppose. And so that's just another symptom right there.
Well, I mean, everybody needs sort of like a skill to develop. It keeps us hungry. It keeps us wanting to get better and more adventurous.
Yeah. This skill, though, the reason why I picked up the double bass.
Yeah.
The reason why I picked up the bass when I was a kid was because my brother was like, hey, we need a bass player and you can be in the band. You know, like any other kid, you want to be like your older brother. So I was like, great. So I learned how to play bass. Was I that great at the electric bass? Not really. Not really. I mean, I was okay. Anything you do for a long time, you get good at. But or at least anything I put my mind to, I can get good at. But then I picked this up, just to sort of continue that torch, and continue running that marathon. But it's the same race as doing tap dance, the art form.
Sure.
Acting, performing, that kind of a thing. Just another skill.
Was there anything that you wanted to do with it? Or is it just something?
No. And that's the interesting thing. When I first moved to New York City, all the skills I was learning was in order to get something, to get into a Broadway show, to book this role. I was doing, that's all the wrong reasons, to make money, et cetera. You don't do that. That's bullshit. Because when you do that, you miss out on the whole point, is the art form itself, right? So when I started studying jazz and I just chose the bass as my instrument because I was already playing bass, really, you do the same thing on piano. And I even told my teacher, I was like, I think I want to start like applying the same principles to piano too, so I could do it on piano. Tap dance, et cetera, et cetera.
Sure.
Shit, I just got off track again.
The purpose of doing it.
The purpose of doing it for itself sake. So that's why when we play at Joe Solomon's Jazz Improv Workshop on 34th Street, usually on Sundays, no one comes to watch, and we don't invite anybody. It's just for the music and the art itself, because it's self-sustaining. It feels good to do.
But the option is there if people want to come and tune in?
No.
Oh, you do it because you want to do it and it's together.
You do it for the music itself, for the art itself, for itself's sake. You know what I mean? You do it for itself's sake because the music is good and because you're growing in the music. Who gives a shit if someone's watching, right? That's what actually good art is. We all know that. Like when we watch people who are good actors, we know that they're not doing it, quote unquote, for us, or else we would instantly peg them as mugging to the camera. You know what I mean?
You can't miss it. I understand.
You know what I'm saying? You would instantly peg them like, okay, that person is mugging to the camera. They're trying to show off their chops. And we tell them, fuck you, go fuck yourself, you suck. We don't want that. We want honesty, right? We want reality. We want the real thing. We want no ego involved. We want just the pure art, feeling, emotion, etc. That's what we want to see. That's what good jazz does. Good jazz happens in the moment, and it's unfettered, it's untouched by like the person's ego, and you can't recreate it again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So same thing with a good performance, acting or a movie, which is why they do 5, 6, 7 takes. And like, there's that one take, which is like utter brilliance, and that baby goes into the cut.
Right. That's, yeah. And a director picks and chooses basically that moment of honesty. And
yeah, exactly. Right. But, the first couple of takes, the actor was in their head, or they were trying to show off. And, this choice that they thought of the night before, and the other actor in the scene could tell that they were like rehashing something they had already thought of. And they were like, come on, just live in the moment. You know what I mean? The whole living in the moment thing.
I get it. Yeah.
That is the exact same thing in jazz. Same thing. Just a different art form, just different instrument.
I've actually, I've struggled living in the moment outside of theater in a different art form. For the past year, I've been doing mixed martial arts, and for me, it was just literally, I feel like I've been using it not to help me get in shape, because I have not gotten in shape, but just, I don't know, like break down, just lift up my spirit, and try to get spiritually stronger. And for the most part, I feel like that definitely worked compared to a year ago, 2 years ago, no doubt about it. I just look at the passion compared to me and my skill set of the people who actually teach it, and their love for this is just like, it's unmistakable for how present they are and how engaged they are with how much they actually love doing what they do, and they're completely different for the most part, similar guys, but different context, like outside.
Same principles.
Yeah, same principles. It's just
all art forms, martial art, entertainment art, jazz, these art forms that are alive in the moment, live theater, etc. They all follow those same principles of being in the moment, being present, being open and honest, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I would like to see if in the cage we would all have circle time where we could just be honest with each other inside the mat.
Honest with your fist.
Oh my God. It's just like he communicates only one way. It's just like, it would be so funny to see that if we could all just have circle time inside the octagon and we actually open up and we talk. That would be, oh my God, we would have to film it, and that'd be really funny. Where it's just like, how do we know if we're doing martial art or just being a bunch of guys working out?
Well, if you filmed it, then you probably wouldn't get the honesty. I'm sure it'd be exploitation. But that's another reason why we don't film or record. Any the stuff that we play on the weekends.
It's disingenuine, or it's like,
no, it's just like, it's because then it no longer becomes the point. That's what makes it so difficult to act well and perform well in front of a camera, is because you have the exploitation right in your face.
Yeah. We're
here to exploit you, baby. Let's see it. Show us. You know what I mean? And so, it's on stage, it's a lot easier to when the audience is dark, you don't see anybody out there, especially if you're in a big theater. I remember years ago, I did this show, George M. And we were in Palo Alto. Wait, where were we? Palo Alto, California? No, Palm Springs. We're in Palm Springs and we're playing this 2,000 seat, theater. And I couldn't see anybody out there.
Yeah.
It's great. Because other than I had no self-consciousness. It was beautiful. because I didn't have that camera doing this, or in our case, a microphone, in the jazz case doing that. So yeah,
Wow.
doing it in martial art. I know some guys, I bet you like, there are men's meetings, men's weekends, who do that kind of stuff.
Within the community?
No, just like in the world. Like I know there's like men's meetings,
Oh yeah, like
men get together, but they like in a martial arts fashion, and then also put in the discussion aspect.
it's part of the art form, I guess. It's because it's you, the person. I hope because I don't think it's got anything to do with like the combat approach that makes it so much an art form. Because everything I've learned in martial arts, it is all technique. It is such an improvised dance where like you can get hurt, but it's real. Like when people do get hurt, it's because you put yourself in a position where you got yourself hurt,
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I mean, I'm not a martial artist. I took some karate when I was a kid, but all I know is from what I see on Bruce Lee movies.
No, you know what it is? It's complete reverse ballroom dancing in a sense where like you have the ability to lead and follow a lead, but there's like, I don't know, like I'm probably not doing it like a good analogy example justice, but for me anyway, it's always been very complicated for me to be the aggressor because as an actor, I literally feel it. My brain is trained to protect the other person in the room, not to do any physical harm in any way, shape, or form. So I noticed when it came down to like Muay Thai or boxing, kickboxing, things like that, like I'm very powerful, like with a heavy bag, and I'll tear it up. But with a person, I'm just eating punches the entire time. As opposed to jujitsu or grappling or wrestling, then all of a sudden I do this though, and it's a disadvantage, and I know it, but I don't know what else to do. I don't make a move until they do. I literally just wait for, like, I know probably a little bit stronger than they are. I want to see if they'll make a mistake, and maybe I'll just trap them and defend myself. And it's not me hurting them. It's me just sparring, protecting them, being careful, and just stopping them from advancing. And I literally feel like parts of my brain conflicted from my theatrical training into what I'm doing now,
You know what you need to do? You need to do what I do when I hunt. Because I go hunting. My whole family's from Louisiana, right?
I can't hunt. Like I'm like,
yeah. I don't like to kill either. No. I don't like to kill animals. I don't like it. I'm a meat eater, and I know I need to eat meat. I have to. I don't like to do it. I will do it if I have to. But I don't like to. So every time we go hunting, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting up there in that tree, and there's deer and shit, and I don't want to kill them. Because they didn't do nothing to me.
Yeah.
They do to me.
Nothing.
Now, if I were an actual hunter-gatherer and I was stuck up in a tree and I was starving, that's a different story. But the thing is really, if we don't kill animals, I'm not a vegetarian. I got to eat meat. I tried being a vegetarian. I couldn't do it. I was the sickest I've ever been. I was so sick. I was so weak. What I do is I sit there and I just make up a little scenario in my head that they did something to me.
You had an IPC with a fucking deer? Oh,
and then I can shoot him.
Can you give me an example, please? I don't know. That deer,
like
that deer ate.
Oh, I'll tell you. Here's a good example. I had some cats, some kittens, and the deer ate one.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Don't fuck with my cat, and then I would drop a deer for doing that.
So I'll fucking drop a deer. You try to eat my cat, I'll fucking drop a deer. Yeah.
I can't. It's just like, and then all of a sudden, like Bambi pops up. Like, wait, that hunter. We don't know who he is, but that's the guy who was avenging his cat the whole time.
Right. That changes the whole story.
Yeah, I mean, it was a rough winter, and cat was, I guess, crossed the wrong meadow.
That's how I would change Bambi. That's right. Mm-hmm.
I have to, I think I got a lot of discovery and a lot of self-talk to do, because I beat myself up way too much. I got mixed martial arts again tonight, but I'm way too sunburned. I'm actually like in pain. I'm not going tonight. I'll make up for it tomorrow. But thank you, John. I know you said that you had an appointment.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Before we
man. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, I'd love to have you back. But you said earlier, if anybody wanted to maybe see Curtains Down, is it online and available?
Yeah, I put it on Facebook, and I put it on Facebook first initially, because I was like, well, let me put it on YouTube, but I don't have a following on YouTube. So I was like, I went ahead and put it on YouTube, but like there's no viewer count because I don't have a following. So I put it on Facebook, on my Facebook page, and then I put it up on Insta. And after about a week, I got a bunch of views and follows and whatever. And then I stuck it over to Instagram. So you can watch it on Instagram or Facebook's.
Okay. I'll make sure that everybody gets the links.
Yeah. Can I put a link on here? I wonder.
I could. Yes. We could put it on the YouTube page. I could definitely pin it to the top of the Filmmakers Club Facebook group for a while and let people check it out and watch it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
You want me to send you the actual thing, or you down?
Oh, you got me on Facebook. If you can send me that link,
I'll send you that link. Okay.
Yeah, I'll just repost it and stuff.
Cool.
So we got a closing segment that we do with every show now, because it's now becoming a tradition. We've had a decent season of podcast so far, and it's called The Right Words at the Right Time. And just give you a little bit of a background story on the right words at the right time. I was reading a book written by Marcy Hopkins when I first started acting, just to kind of like, it was just a collective of interviews of celebrities, politicians, athletes, very well-known household names that are still renowned today.
Yeah.
But the interview basically was just one simple question of the right words at the right time, because every single person had been given some good advice in their early days that just stuck with them after, all that time, going through their 20s, their 30s, their 40s, they even carried them into their 80s until they finally made, like it just never left them. My question to you, was there anything that was ever told to you which has just been with you this entire time, that never left you, that were the right words at the right time, and they're with you even to this day? Or do you have any words of your own that you would like to share?
Yeah, start now.
Shaquille O'Neal was told something similar to that by his mother, to start now. I remember that.
Start now. Start when you're not ready. It's so fucking cliche. It's so fucking stupid and cliche, but it's true. Just fucking start doing it. Just start doing it. Put yourself in debt if you need to. Put yourself in debt. Just fucking start doing shit. Start doing shit. But, anyway, so that's what I was told, hey, start. Years ago, who was it? I think it was a teacher, my dance teacher when I was in college, because I took dance in college. Said that? Yeah. It's like, just start now. I was like, okay, here we go. The thing is halfway through my, quote unquote journey, I stopped telling myself I never would stop, but I did stop. So then I just, you know what? When you stop, restart. Restart again.
It's not cliche, but it is true. And maybe sometimes people just got to hear it, just like a little.
Take steps. Yeah, because a lot of times it's because things are so massive, you get sort of but the thing you get sort of lost in all the fuss because everything's so massive. But the good thing about now, nobody has any excuses.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I can make great looking footage now for cheap. This camera that I got here for $500, this Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera OG, right? I can make footage as good looking as anything. So you don't have, and then now you have an audience.
Yeah. You
have equipment, you have an audience, you have everything. No excuses. You can't. Right. All you have now are excuses because nothing. Years ago, you used to be able to go like, just can't break into Hollywood, man. I just can't, get out there and do this stuff, man. Now you don't have any excuses.
Right.
Shit together. Start doing it. If it sucks. Oh, that's another thing. That's actually something more important that someone told me. Admit if you suck. It's no shame. If you suck at something, to admit it. Like, this is garbage. Admit that something's garbage. Not everything is gonna be genius. That's what my dance teacher would always say was, he said, what is it? Only the mediocre are always at their best.
Wow.
So that always stuck with me because, everything they do, they expect to be brilliant, right? Then it sucks. You're going to suck. You're like, oh yeah, this is really good. You're like lying to yourself. No, you admit when something's garbage. You have to, because if it sucks, then just learn from it and make another one.
It doesn't serve you to just fill your ego. Sometimes if you
crazy
into something, it could expand into something better.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. You have to admit, even my short curtains down, I can still look at it and admit there are certain things that it could actually be better. It could be better. There's things that could be funnier. Edits that could have, had I thought about it beforehand, I could have made, there's this one edit that could have been better. Could have been better.
You learn from that though.
You just learn from it. But you have to admit if something didn't work or something's not good.
I could definitely agree with that.
But there's so many people who don't do that. So many people who won't admit it. Who won't admit it. They think that if they admit that they suck at something, at a skill, that they can't ever get good at it. Right. For some reason, if they admit that they suck, that they can't ever get good. If I say I suck now, that means, I can't get good. So they just lie to themselves and tell themselves that they're good. And then they always suck and then they don't even know it, because they're so good at believing their own bullshit. So yes, always the mediocre are always at their best. That's the final word. Bam!
You heard it here, folks. Man, John, I actually got teary a little bit because that really hit me hard. Thank you for sharing that, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Please watch The Degenerates. I will share your film with the AFC.
Curtains down, the last rod.
I can't, I'm really excited. And if you do need help, we have the AFC Writers Room every Sunday. Chris is involved with it. We got about 7 or 8. I think there's actually 13 writers in the group now, but it's growing, and they all give good feedback. I've given some good feedback. Be more than happy to help. And Thank you again. Goodbyes for me are always the hardest because I hate goodbyes. But I didn't ask you one question. Do you have a favorite movie, actor, anybody like that?
A favorite movie?
And most
I have top Gladiator. I love Gladiator. I love the old Pink Panther, the original Pink Panther
with Clouseau, the original one.
Yeah, Spectre Clouseau. Yeah, not Steve Martin's, but Peter Sellers.
When the guy was trying to walk across the street, type of a comedy.
Love that shit.
That was great.
Love it.
And keto karate going across.
Yeah, love it. Love that.
I can't wait to get together with you again, John. We're going to be doing some mixers once a month, big parties, just to like shake hands with people in the industry. Definitely let you know and keep you in the loop on what's going on.
Cool, man. All right. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, I'll leave you with this. Always remember to never forget community, creativity, and joy.
Bam.
Ciao for now.
Over and out.
Over and out.